All right, so we're gonna talk about gear. We got a lot of gear around here. I used to be a professional skier. I always had a lot of gear as a single guy, skiing all over the world. Tons of gear, skis, boots, poles, goggles, packs. I like gear. Now, all of a sudden what happens is you take that mentality and drive it forward and have an adventurous family, and then you got kids, then you got a dog, then you got a wife, lots of gear. But it's good, and you need gear because we love to do all these things outside, and this is the gear that we use to get it done. Let's start over here. This is kind of more of gear that I use. So generator for sure is critical, especially when you're camping off-grid or boondocking. You need this to power the battery, and it's critical. You can check with your power intake on your batteries to make sure that your generator is large enough to actually power that. Gas can for multiple things. We have dirt bikes and stuff, but usually I just take it for the generator. Axe, critical. This is where I chop all my wood. So in here, there's two bins. One of them is my collector bucket for the kids down bottom, and then up here I have another one that holds shovel, saw, jumper cables, first aid kit, hatchet, lots of stuff like that it's kind of in this same group, right? It's for chopping wood, powering, things like that. All right, so this is my toolbox here. In this is definitely like your standard socket set, your hex set, screwdrivers, power gun, stuff like that. I also have more specific tools that are geared towards this RV or any RV, which are PEX tools. And a PEX tool basically is used in case you spring a leak in one of the pipes. Most of the pipes in these RVs are PEX. It's like a kind of a PVC tubing where all the water flows through. If you spring a leak, you're definitely going to want some type of a PEX tool to replace a pipe or to fix a valve or something like that. So got the power drill, got the ratchet set, another one here, got the hex set down here, buried at the bottom. When I talk about PEX, this is a PEX crimp. And there's some other replacement tools in there as well. I've only actually had to do it once, but I actually did it without it, and I figured it out. So it's doable on your own, but it's always great to have some type of general tool set with you at all times, because you never know what's going to happen. And especially with all the gear, the bikes, e-bikes and all those things, you're going to need to fix something at some point. It's very critical to have it. So another handy thing to have, which I always bring, is kind of a baby propane tank like this. And the reason I bring this is to power my grill. And I also have an outdoor shower that I use this for as well. And this is just one of those things that kind of always comes in handy when you're cooking outside or you need to power other things via propane or heat up other things via propane. Little baby propane tank is always awesome to have. Moving on. So always carry this portable grill with me. This is a little Weber. This thing is awesome. I have beat this thing up quite a bit and it always fires up. And we cook a lot of meat on this outside. Like I was saying, I try not to cook a lot of meat in the camper except for bacon because I love the smell of bacon, but I don't know if you've ever tried to cook fish in a camper. It doesn't smell that great. I always carry 2 6-gallon water tanks with me as well, because when we're off grid a lot, sometimes I really try to reserve the water that's in the RV here. So what I do is I carry 2 of these with me at all times, and they're always usually full. And when we're off grid for a long period of time, I can actually continue to fill the water tank in the RV with these instead of detaching and running downtown and filling this back up. What I usually do is take the truck, I'll run down to town, fill these up, and it'll sustain us for 3 or 4 days. Cooler. This is a very important thing. It might not seem like it, but you want to get a good cooler. And there's multiple reasons for that. One, your fridge could go down. And it happens to us. It's happened to me multiple times where all of a sudden I have to empty the entire fridge, put it into a cooler like this that I know is going to last for a couple days with solid ice so I can get the fridge fixed. Also, one with wheels is really great too. Can kind of lug it around to the beach and do stuff like that, but make sure you always have a really solid cooler with you. These are the adventure packs for the kids. We fill these up with compasses and books for my daughter and binoculars and stuff like that. So the kids always roll with adventure packs, which is a great little thing for them, and they love it. This is actually a portable fire pit. This thing is super cool. It's ashless, so none of the ash will fall through it onto the ground. And it's great. You can put your feet underneath it and warm your feet up and stuff. So if we're in a place that we don't really have a fire pit or I don't feel like making one, awesome portable little fire pit is great. Let's talk about rugs. So the important thing about rugs is, like, if the weather's yucky or it's like sandy and you don't want to keep dragging stuff inside the camper, rugs are awesome. Make sure that you get something where water can flow through. So these types of rugs are really durable, and they're synthetic, and water will actually flow right through this. And if you walk on this with sand or something like that, the sand actually goes through and it goes to the ground instead of going up into your camper. We got another smaller one for beach setups and stuff like that. It's really, really great. Boots, water shoes. I would say that one of my most critical things when I'm on these adventures is having a really good pair of muck boots and a really good like all-around hiking boot. You're always outside, you're always dirty, you never know what's gonna happen. The weather's constantly changing. Good hiking boot is critical, and a good muck boot is also critical because it's muddy a lot. So these are our tire stabilizers. These, there's all sorts of different kinds of these things. People call them chocks. They're all sorts of, you can use rocks, you can use logs. I like to use these because we have a double axle, and these actually sit right between the two wheels, and then you just kind of cramp these things down. It's always a good thing to put these in before you detach your RV from your vehicle. It prevents rolls. It's just a good safety mechanism to always put these in before you detach. Another great thing that we like to bring on these trips is a soft cooler. I have a couple kinds and I'll walk through what we use them for. So this one is great because it's a little bit lighter if you need to sling it and carry it to the beach. It's also, it doubles as storage, which is a nice storage bin because they're really burly. So I can fit lots of different things in here. If I need to, keep things cold, I'll bring this to the beach or the lakes and rivers. But if I need it for storage, I can also put stuff in here for storage. These are portable battery packs. This is a Goal Zero Sherpa 100 AC. So this will actually run a computer. It'll charge a computer and phones. These things are really great because they save your battery within the camper. And we also bring these in the car. I have a couple of them in the car as well that we use just to reserve power. Here's another example of a great soft cooler. It's a Yeti. We love this thing. These are super, super awesome. I mean, they keep stuff cool forever. And the reason I like this so much is because it's got a backpack. And actually I carry my daughter on my back a lot. And so she kind of rides on top of this. But if you're going like on a mission out to a river or a lake and it's like a mile hike or a 2-mile hike or something, these are great. You can put all your sandwiches and whatever you want in here to keep your food really cool, and it's really comfortable. So these are really a great thing to kind of have on an adventure like this. Obviously I'm a crazy fly fisherman, so I always bring at least 2 to 3 fly rods wherever I go, and a slew of flies dependent on where I am, East Coast, West Coast, but I love to fly fish. This thing is awesome. So this is a blanket. This is actually a Yeti blanket, and it's like rubberized on the bottom. So this thing is super durable. You can wash it, and it's small. So we bring this to the beach all the time, and we just throw it down or on rivers and lakes. You can pick it up and hose it down or wash it off, and it dries really fast. Camping really wouldn't be complete without a really good camping chair. And it's great to kind of set up life outside of the RV. We love these Yeti chairs. They're solid. We've had them for a long time, and they pack down really small. They're really easy to set up. They're pretty light, and they pack down really fast. But a good camping chair is something that you should definitely invest in because you're going to use it. Paddleboarding. We're big paddleboarders. My son paddleboards, my daughter, my wife and I. Badfish sups are insanely cool. They're really durable. This is a new model they came out with. It's called the Flyweight. So it's really light and it packs down into a backpack. This is really cool for, you get to a spot, you got a mile to a lake or a river, you can actually throw this on your back and take it right in. It's really light and it pumps up super fast. I have a bulldog and she actually lives on this thing. It's something that we don't really travel without. And we have a couple of these and they're absolutely incredible. This thing is a beast. We love to mountain bike. Recently, we've been introduced to e-biking, and for an adventurous family of 4, the e-bike is actually a really cool way to get around. The reason I've gotten so excited about e-biking lately is because my son is 7, my daughter's 4. My son is a wicked biker, but we can't go too far, maybe a couple miles and then he starts to get tired. The e-bikes really have changed the dynamic for us as a biking family. They allow us to go way further, see more, and kind of save our energy. We have trailers that go with these. We can tote gear, we can put kids in them, and we can do all this stuff as a family unit and go deep into the wilderness, and it's absolutely incredible. So that's it for gear, you know. You don't need all this stuff. These are choices that I have made for my family's lifestyle, and this supports what we love to do as an adventurous family. This all gets packed up and either goes in the back of the truck or into the RV, and away we go, and when we set up camp, boom, it all comes back out. Up next is the RV tour, and I'm gonna take you through our 30-foot.